Is the new RDX worth it? We're going to give 3 reasons why this 2025 Acura RDX A-Spec in APEC blue metallic over orchid interior is the way to go. This year, we get some updates to the exterior, new wheel design, new colors, the interior has been updated, but is this enough to say it's worth it? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm going to throw in some pros and cons. We're going to compare this against the competition to reveal the 3 reasons why you want to consider the new RDX. Starting in the front is going to have dual eye LED headlights, LED daytime runnings, and LED fog lights. Glossy black pentagon grille. This has been reworked. A-Spec changes out the bumper so it looks more sporty. Front parking sensors is going to be on all trims except for the base RDX with 8.2 inches of clearance across the board. Now, going against competition, every vehicle is going to be at least $2,000 to $5,000 more than this in a base trim. 2 standard colors, which will include the Cayenne River Blue Metallic and the Solar Silver Metallic. And then you have the premium colors like this, the Urban Gray Pearl, Platinum White Pearl, Performance Red Pearl, Liquid Carbon Metallic, and Majestic Black Pearl. The VTEC 4-cylinder turbocharged. You're getting 21 MPGs for the city, 26 MPGs for the highway. It's a standard super handling all-wheel drive configuration. So now when you're going back to, is it worth it? The first reason that comes into play is you're getting standard all-wheel drive. That's not going to be the case when you tick the box to anybody besides this. And the 2-liter is pumping out 272 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission. What I like about the A-Spec so much is you get the styling on the exterior. So you'll get these enlarged 20-inch shark gray wheels, whereas when you go into the Tech, it'll be a 19-inch shark gray machine finish. When you go into the Advance, you'll get the 19-inch Barcelona black machine finish. And the only way to get these 20-inch wheels is either you go to this A-Spec or the A-Spec Advance, which will add the acoustic windows in the rear. That actually starts on the Advance. The A-Spec and Tech will get it on the side windows. In the front windscreen, all trims will have an acoustic window. So they're making the cabin a lot more quiet in the interior. Now, going against competition like BMW, they just went through a refresh, and it's an acquired taste because the exterior, it doesn't look as aggressive in some people's mind as the prior. Now, you can get an M40 variant, which would be a lot faster than this, but then you're paying about 20 grand more than you're paying here, and this is the A-Spec. Going against Volvo, they have the Recharge, which will have a ton of power, but when you put that against this, the same aspect comes into place. You're paying around 70 grand to go to that tier, and if you go underneath it, you're still going to be at least $5,000 to $10,000 more. And that takes me to the second reason why this is worth it. Because it's not only going to be stylish because you have the A-Spec styling kit on the exterior, it also boasts that in the interior, and you have the performance out of that VTEC engine. So you're capturing everything from performance and luxury blended in with the RDX. And they add the Dragon Tail LED taillights. I like the names that they give to their vehicle because it just makes it a little bit more playful. The lower, look how aggressive that looks. Those are 3-inch pipes with the diffuser, and when you go up into the Advance, you have a 360-degree reverse camera. And all trims have the Acura Watch, including the collision mitigation, road departure, lane departure, forward collision, adaptive cruise control with low speed follow so it will not come to a stop, lane keep assist, traffic sign recognition, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic, pedestrian detection, auto high beam, but the base trim will not have low speed emergency braking. All trims will have agile handling assist, and the Advance will add the adaptive damper system. Amplitude reactive dampers are going to be standard, and that goes into this trim with a McPherson strut front suspension, a multi-link rear suspension, 12.4-inch disc reading for the front, 12.2-inch disc reading for the rear. So when you're putting all these numbers, now you're seeing the blend of why this vehicle is worth it against the competition. It's not just pricing, it's not just performance, it's not just styling. It also adds the essence of luxury, and it goes a step further because you're getting that discounted price. Power liftgate on all trims, going into 29.5 cubic feet of storage. You have a storage tub here. Open this, and you got a deep storage, and look at this. You have another storage, and you could remove that there. That would be to inflate your tire. The nice thing about what Acura does is you don't have to go into the back. You pull the tabs here, and it will fold down the seats at a 60-40 split. That's going to maximize cargo to 58.9 cubic feet of storage. But we need to go inside, start it up, so you can hear that exhaust note. The key fob to the RDX A-Spec. 12-way power seat adjustment for the front leather seats. This is A-Spec seating, so sport bolstering with the ultra suede. Heated, ventilated starts here. Memory for the driver. The center cluster has been reworked. The RDX will start with 9 speakers. The Tech will get 12 speakers through ELS. 16 speakers start on this trim. It's not a driver focused setup, so it makes it a little bit easier. You get the ultra suede inserts with the contrast stitch here. Let's fire it up. The large heads-up display will go onto the A-Spec Advance. Auto-dimming rear-view mirror with the home link is standard on all trims. LED interior lights. Ambient lighting is going to be standard, but when you go into the Tech or up, you get the iconic Drive ambient lighting, which gives you 27 different themes in the interior. 10.2 information display. It is not touch screen. It's also pushed forward. You have the Acura True Touchpad, which you would just click on here. Now with this particular pad, it is very unique. So I'm going to show you going onto the home. You have 4, so think of 4 fingers, because that's what you're going to be utilizing here, because each part is basically the same as that. So what I mean by that is if you use not the middle finger, but this finger here, look where I'm at, Sirius XM. Now phone, now navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You get used to it, but it can be a learning curve for some. You have Acura Link, navigation, put it into reverse, and you get a reverse camera. The same thing, that little sub-menu down here, you use your fingers to just utilize it as a 1, 2, 3, 4. You line it up for the toe and so forth, but you can see it gets a little bit edgy. You also have this little area here, which I think is pretty nice because whenever you have that sub-menu, you could just slide, and you could do the same thing here. I like how performance driven it is for Acura because you have your dynamic mode, which is the driving mode, and you have a total of 4 different modes here. Soft materials are going to be surrounded. You have a little palm holder here, wireless charging pad that has been relocated, and this is going to be sporty. It opens up into a medium-sized storage pocket with a USB port. You get another 12-volt and USB through this pass-through, perforated, flat bottom because it's A-Spec. Heated starts on the Advance, multi-function. The paddle shifts, and the gauge cluster has a 7-inch informational display that can go through an array of different content for the driver. You have this roller here, so it makes it a lot more quick and seamless. You can also turn the audio sound system on and off and turn up the volume. Sport pedals, leg space is going to be more than generous. Same thing with headroom with a large pano moonroof. Door panel and dash, you get this aluminum mesh that comes into play, and I like how it just wraps into the dashboard, into the door card. It makes it look a lot more luxurious. You get the ultra suede inserts, you get the aluminum mesh for the ELS Studio 3D sound. It's soft to touch, 1 touch up and down for the windows, and a medium-sized storage pocket. For the back seat, this is the opening that you have to fit 2 more with the cup holders and armrest down. The door card is going to have the same materials that's found in the front, so it's soft to touch, and about the same size storage pocket. Sitting behind me, the seats, they're carved out for your legroom. You get storage on both sides, 2 USB-C ports, and air vents. As for headroom, I can fit, and a lot of that is because the pano gives you about maybe 1 inch to 2 more headroom. Sliding into the center, the floor is not completely flat. You're going to be sharing some feet space, but not a lot because this is a wide vehicle. But leg and shoulder space is going to be shared a little bit more, so the seats are very comfortable even sitting into the center, which when you're talking about competition in this price, it usually sits upwards and the bolstering is a little bit more hard, but here It's actually pretty comfortable for the back and the butt. 8.2 inches of clearance on all trims, as well as super handling all-wheel drive. So it ticks the box for whether you live up north in North America or you live down south, you're gonna be fine. And you don't have to spend an extra $1,500 to $2,000 like you would in the competition. Interior, it's gonna be more sporty because the A-Spec comes in. And when you go into the advanced A-Spec, it just basically unlocks everything because you're getting 16-way power seat adjustment going that route. That is a lot, because put that in perspective against the Germans, against Genesis, against Lexus, they're not going to go this route at the MSRP that you're capturing with this. Two-liter four-cylinder turbocharged VTEC engine. It has some power. 272 horsepower with 280 pound-feet of torque, 21 over 26 mpgs, so it's good for an all-wheel drive configuration. Plenty of room in the cabin. The seats are going to be a little bit more sporty, so you're going to feel that, especially in the cushion. They don't have any massage seats or manual cushion extensions to help that. But when you go into the Advance, it does unlock more power seat adjustments. So the bolstering itself will hold you, but the butt part is going to be a little bit more firm. Not a huge fan of this Acura True Touch pad. We just reworked this technology where now if you're using your phone connectivity, it covers the whole 10.2 inches. Why didn't they just put a damn touch screen? The center cluster has been reworked, so it is more functional. They've moved the wireless charging pad, and you have a full pass-through with 2 USB ports, but it just is starting to look a little tired in the cabin. The suspension, you will feel some of the imperfections. These are also upgraded 20-inch wheels. And going A-Spec, whether you go this trim or Advanced A-Spec, that's the only way you're gonna get these larger wheels. This is kind of the sweet spot because it does unlock all of the desirable features, but when you go into the Advance, now you're getting a little bit better sound deadening because the rear windows are also acoustic, as well as the front driver and passenger. With the weight distribution at 5743, it's actually the best here. That Turbo 4 will come into the cabin. But it feels a bit sporty. I do like the feel to it. The drive is aggressive, which is what people are looking for. They need performance and they need luxury. In the blend here, it's captured. It's gonna take me to some more pros and cons, and we're gonna go into some cons. The RDX, it's a premium luxury vehicle, but they don't use a lot of premium materials. You can see more of the harder plastic, especially on the top part of the dash, on the door card. The center, they do a pretty decent job covering it up wherever you're going to be using it, but even the soft materials is not that soft. They don't really put like a cushion to it. They just cover it up with either a leatherette or a leather area. And when you're going on a long journey, this can make it a little bit more uncomfortable, especially because the seat doesn't come that long for the butt area. For the back, it's fine. It's more of a flat seat, so when you are taking some of the bins, it does make it a little bit easier to slide, but that's why we have the Ultra Suede inserts. I like the Ultra Suede inserts that are throughout the cabin because it does make it look a lot more upscale. But some other cons have to be the sound deadening because you just hear the engine a little bit too much. I don't mind hearing it when I'm flooring it, but I don't want to hear it everywhere I go. At some point, this is not a sports car. I want it to be a little bit more quiet. The suspension is going to be sporty, so similar to BMW, but not to the same extreme. But it's not going to be as comfortable as something like Lexus that's going to be more butter smooth. Infiniti also does a pretty decent job with that. But once you start getting bigger wheels, even with these better suspensions, you will feel imperfections or potholes. There's no way around it. Plenty of room in the interior of the cabin. They really carve out everything. Maneuverability, the steering is light. Braking on the vehicle actually is amazing. I mean, look at this. Like literally, it just wants to stop Turn radius about 2 lanes. Let's rock and roll. It's fast enough to get you a speeding ticket. It's more luxurious enough than anybody in its class because you're saving at least $5,000 to $10,000. Taking me to the last reason why this is worth it, because this year you also receive all of the updates from the exterior, the interior. The technology now works a little bit better with the Bluetooth connectivity for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Unfortunately, you still have the Acura True touchpad, but with every new vehicle, there is going to be a learning curve. At least with this one, you're still going to have some fun with it between light and light. The interior is one of few that has the ultra suede inserts found throughout the interior of the cabin. They don't go over the top with the gloss black everywhere, so I appreciate that. For fingerprints, it's going to be a lot easier to clean the interior of this cabin. They carve out more than enough storage throughout, plenty of charging ports, more than enough room for 3 to sit in the back, plus one of the best in class for cargo, so it's ticking the box for every single thing that you would need for a compact SUV, but giving the luxury and the performance. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check this next video out right here. And I'd like to thank our friends here at Regal Acura for giving us this Acura RDX A-Spec.